Hey there. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Supersize Your Business. And I like to talk about business strategies, different business strategies, what works, what doesn't work. And today we're going to talk about adapting to the changing influencer marketing strategies. Are you taking advantage of that to supersize and grow your business? What are some of the things we talked about trends not too long ago in this with this particular strategy? But the truth is, influencer marketing is a $1 billion a year business. So obviously, it is something we want to take a look at when we're deciding if it's the right strategy for us. And we've talked about the steps for doing that, so I'm not going to go into that today. But a couple of things that are happening in the influencer marketing industry itself are the change from, and it's actually a power shift from celebrities and famous people promoting and sharing and talking about our products. And social media has made this possible, to micro influencers, which are people with 100,000 or less followers, and then now nano influencers, people with like hundreds of followers, just hundreds or up to 1,000 are considered nano influencers. And why are they important? Because they allow us to reach highly engaged groups of people that are very specific and niched down very finely to offer our goods and products and services to. And so if we can find a couple of nano influencers, because they have so much power and influence with their audience, because their audience is a small, intimate size, they can have actual relationships. They're considered more authentic, more realistic, more trustworthy. And people in the group tend to listen to them, listen to their advice, and take their advice and act on it, which is, word of mouth advertising and the holy grail of what we all want for our businesses. We want raving fans out talking our business up whenever the topic comes up that we could solve a problem for someone. The digital landscape, as I'm sure you're aware at this point, if you're involved in it at all, is ever changing and ever in flux. We've talked about algorithm changes and the impact that has. And guess what? That is something that is absolutely outside any of our individual control. Unless, of course, you own the social media company and are changing the algorithms yourself. Think Elon Musk or think Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, they know what's going on and how it's going on and are actually pulling the strings to create it the way they want it to be. But that doesn't give us any control over it. So we need to use those platforms wisely, but we need to use them and we need to be out there on them. We talked about personal brands yesterday. I say every single day, that's my opinion. The world is getting so busy and so noisy. If we're not showing up every day, and that does not mean that we are personally, physically showing up every day. That is a huge hurdle that most people don't have the energy or the ability to overcome and jump over that hurdle, make that happen. But we can create content ahead of time and in batches and have it trickled out every single day. And we don't have to do that either. We can hire an agency or an organization or a virtual assistant or somebody else to actually do that for us. We need to embrace different emerging platforms. So not only do we want to look into and tap into the power of nano influencers, but we also want to pay attention to the platforms that we're appearing on. As our digital landscape changes, so do the platforms that people pay attention to. Now, YouTube and TikTok, which I have a TikTok account. I don't think I've ever posted anything on it. Maybe, but I don't think so, because there's been so much controversy around TikTok and its ownership and stuff. And that's like, I just don't want to play in that ball game. So but we need to be aware of those. And actually, it's a way to reach a younger audience. And my audience isn't younger. The people that I serve tend to be 50 plus and very well established in their businesses or their careers. So TikTok doesn't really make sense for me. And I'm quite grateful for that, because it was another platform I didn't want to figure out how to participate on. However, if I choose to start targeting a younger audience, I will hire someone who is a great TikToker and have them go through my decades of content and decide what does and doesn't make sense for TikTok. There's also new emerging ones besides TikTok, like Clubhouse and Twitch. Those I do not have an account on, never heard of. But now over this weekend, I think I'm going to look into them, because I'm just curious. What is it? What do they have to offer? What might that do to help me reach the people that I'm here to reach? We also want to take into account different modalities and different ways of showing up and using the digital landscape to reach our people and reach more people. And that's through live streams and real-time engagement. I love live streams. I love going live. I love it when I have interaction with my audience. Usually I make my videos early enough in the morning that most people are still sleeping in my neck of the woods and in my audience, or they're definitely not online at that time. But we can do Q&As, we can do surveys, we can do games, we can do live trainings, we can do virtual events, we can do all kinds of things. We're really only nowadays limited by our imagination. And how can we creatively use the tools and the processes and the things that are coming out every single day? I lost track of how many, remember when there was no mobile phones and no mobile apps, no mobile anything? Now there's literally thousands a day of new applications that are popping up on our phones. And the vast majority of them will never, ever, ever, it's like using the features on your phone. How many people use like 3 features on their cell phone and the rest are just there? The same is true of our computers and anything digital. So we pay attention to the things that are most important to us. We can also share other people's stories, testimonies. We want to share interesting, relevant content to the people that we're here to share with. But with respect to influencers, the best story we can get is their personal story and how the product has impacted and changed their life, especially with nano influencers and their audiences. We want to make sure those are authentic, real relationships that we're forming. And we want to be transparent and clear with people. Hey, when they're talking about your products and services, yes, I have purposefully chosen to connect with this brand, product, or service because of XYZ. Here's my story. Here's my experience about that. I think we need to be, in order to be successful with any influencer marketing strategy, we have to be upfront and honest about the relationship. If you just pay somebody $100,000 to do a promo spot for you, you don't have to say you paid $100,000 for it, but the person should just say, hey, this is one of my advertisers. I want to thank them. Here's my take on their product or service. But be authentic and upfront and real about what is actually going on. Or if it's your first time working with an influencer, focus in on that. Hey, this is our first time working together. Super excited about it. Yada, yada, yada. To get that done. There's so many ways. I work with a lot of people that are afraid to create content and they just don't know what to create. Early on, I've always been a information gatherer. So to me, deciding what to talk about, what to share, it's pretty easy. If we listen to people's questions, they tell us everything they want to know, and then we just start answering their questions. We can do Q&As, we can do live streams, we can do, again, I talked about these workshops, digital workshops. The digital age has made it so much easier and leveled the playing field for people that want to share and contribute to the world that never were able to before because it was cost prohibitive. And when influencer marketing is another example of that. Not very many companies just a decade or so ago could afford to hire a big name person to rep their product or service or brand. You know, you had the big advertisers in a couple of industries that would do that and spend millions and millions of dollars a year. But most of our businesses are not set up for millions and millions of dollars a year of promotion. So love to know, are you tapping into, or are you actually just watching and paying attention to the influencer marketing strategies industry space so that you can decide when is and where is the exact right place for you to jump in? Curious about that. That's it. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.